Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Disney because we have to. It's time for the 4D, the daily dose.
4D.
The daily dose of dismal
It's not,
Disney.
I mean, we're just reporting the news. We don't make it up. We just report it.
It's all dismal now.
Yeah. So apparently the new thing is, well, it's not a new thing. But for 2020, as the parks are facing closures, now they're facing furloughs, and then, now permanent layoffs for 28,000 employees, Disney has been hiring. They've ramped up 55% on hiring for their streaming, which they've claimed they're going to switch direction to focus on streaming, and for their merchandise and retail, like Shop Disney, Disney Store. Those locations have been being hired. Now they are making sure they're only hiring temp, seasonal, whatever for the store, so they don't have to have full-time employees.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because I think that there might be a crash coming after the holidays.
Probably, but I'm saying they're shifting their attention, as Chapek mentioned, they're shifting their attention to streaming, and then and of course, in a synergy move by Disney that no one is surprised by, is they're going to make new content and then sell the shit out of the merchandise. That's their Hail Mary pass.
Yeah, so basically more Baby Yoda crap.
Yeah, basically merchandise. So that's what they're going to do. So apparently, according to analysts that, investigate global data as analysts, they look into job trends and things like that, that they have noticed that they have been hiring a bunch of people for streaming and a bunch of people for merchandise locations. And I did basically everything that's in the article, I pretty much summed up. They're talking about Disney's dreaming Disney Plus and how they're trying to make it this big blockbuster release like they did with Mulan. And how they're going to probably going to move forward with that, even though Chapek said, remember, they asked him, is this a new business plan? No.
Yeah.
But we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So, damn well that's what they're going to do. But who is going to hurt is the theaters.
Yeah, so here, this is coming from, who is the person looking at global data, AJ Thalori. They said Disney's dream for Disney Plus is to transcend from a streaming service.
Synergy.
Transcend from a streaming service to be a distribution tool for hot blockbuster releases at a premium to boost profitability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's exactly what, and we called that as soon as they said during the invest. Oh, it's going to be a one-off. We're not going to.
Like, sure it is.
Yeah, they're going to deliberately. Disney's going to not help the theaters. They're going to be like, no, we're going to save our own asses. We know the future is streaming. We're going to cut you chumps out of it. Mm-hmm. I know we talked a big game about helping theaters out or whatever, but they're sitting on so many movies right now that even if they release them in a limited capacity, would help the theaters.
Right. They could release it to the theaters and like a month later put it on the streaming service or something.
Yeah.
But they won't.
Yep. So they said there's going to be a direct relationship between Disney Plus and Disney Retail. All synergy. Disney's advantage is that it's prominent in the children's space. A key merchandising target market.
Toy Story 3000.
Toy Story, yeah, it's Toy Story 5, 6, 7, 8.
Basically, what they're going to do is what they always do, but they're going to double down and do it more, which is make a bunch of shit and charge a whole bunch of money, and that's how it's going to save them, because the parks is what they depended on all this time. Well, we saw what happened with that. So moving forward, changing direction, and we're shifting to, what they call it, direct-to-consumer.
Direct-to-consumer, yeah, DTC, direct-to-consumer. And that's what's going to happen. Basically, all the middlemen are going to get cut out. The movie theaters are going to get cut out. This is the game plan. This is why I'm like, this is how the studios are thinking. They could release. We saw what happened in Japan with Demon Slayer. When you actually release a movie people want to see, and there's pent-up demand, and they're allowed to go to the theater, they go see it, a bunch of times. And there are a lot of movies out there these studios are literally sitting on until next year. But it does seem on some level that they're sitting on them because they're hoping the theaters will either go under or have to sell out or something.
Well, I think they're sitting on them because they want to wait until they can have bigger box office. But yeah, it's not. They could save them. They're just not. No,
they're choosing not to because they're like, why would we share?
Exactly.
Why are we going to share?
My next question is, why can't you if you're just going to do it anyway, is it to save face? Why not just release it anyway? If you're not, because the movie theater's going to be gone. By the time you effing get around to releasing it to theaters, they're going to be gone anyway. So, or it's the case of what we were saying about other people jumped on after. Are they going to buy the theaters?
Well, because the Paramount decree, I guess, I have to look into the specifics, but I think it's pretty much up that technically these studios could go buy theaters. So you could have like Netflix-owned theaters, you could have Paramount-owned theaters, Disney-owned theaters. Disney basically owns Disney Plus, and then they own Disney theaters. or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's
lots of things they could do.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of theaters, they're in really bad shape right now. Obviously, because there are no new movies, and Regal and Regal shut down, and Cineworld because there aren't any new movies. So AMC Entertainment plans a $47.7 million stock sale.
Now, didn't they do stock sales earlier in the year when this started?
They did,
yeah, like Disney had done some of the stock things, shuffles they did. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, because what's going on, AMC, as I understand it, last I checked, they only had 6 months of capital left. Mm-hmm. If new movies don't get released to theaters within the next 6 months, AMC.
Well, that was 6 months. That was a couple months ago.
As of like a month ago.
So it's probably like 4 or 5 months left, probably 4.
Yeah, so they talked about how COVID hampered the release of Tenet in August. And aside from less expensive targeted titles, wide releases have shifted to either later dates or streaming debuts. The company disclosed the move in an SEC filing on Monday. Mm-hmm. Among the risk factors for investors listed by AMC in the filing is our ability to obtain additional liquidity and our ability to continue as a going concern. Basically, if we don't get more money, we're fucked.
Well, they're saying here, end of the year. They can run out of money end of the year.
Yeah.
They say key markets aren't back online. Like, some in California, New York State, still haven't come back up.
Yeah.
So, at this point, Hollywood just keeps, they could bail the theaters out. They could go out tomorrow and help the theaters. They could give them money. They could get release these titles. It won't help the theaters that are shut down, but it'll help every place else. It'll help the global box office. But they won't do it. Yeah. Why?
There's definitely something going on. I mean, I do believe that their end game is to either own the theaters or just cut them out completely.
Right. So then, meanwhile, Disney announces it's doubling down on streaming moving forward and direct to consumer moving forward and all that. Then we have all these things shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Streamiest place on earth. Yeah.
The streamiest place on earth. Boy, I sure hope nothing goes wrong with Disney Plus. Because can you imagine if they put all of their eggs into this basket and something goes catastrophically wrong with Disney Plus? Then that's pretty much it. And that's the problem with all these studios. What I'm worried about is they're all getting rid of divisions and trimming down. We're seeing it with Warner and we're seeing it with NBC and Universal and all that. And what if the streaming wars wind up being so brutal that there are only 2 or 3 major streamers left and that all these movie studios are basically obliterated because it was like Highlander?
Pretty much. And that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, could there come a day where, hey, anything's possible, right? Could there come a day where like Netflix wound up buying Disney because, they
more cuties.
More cuties. I mean,
those aren't compatible.
It's brand synergy. You want to sell to children, so you should just sell children.
No, no.
Right? That's how this works. Kids love to see themselves represented in movies.
Yeah, no. Not represented that way. Anyway, continue what you were going to say without saying the things about
cuties. Anyway, so the UK movie theaters are shutting down again because there's another wave of shutdowns in the UK. So could that happen over here too again? Possibly. It could. I don't know nobody knows what's going to happen.
Nobody knows.
But again, it's not a very good incentive for, I guess, people to release movies if they can't get this under control. And they're shutting theaters down and...
But there's nothing to release because, again, we're just talking in circles at this point. But, yeah, Regal's closing all their cinemas. The global box office, the reason Demon Slayer is kicking everybody's ass is because it's out there and it's good. Hollywood is just sitting on their thumbs and they're talking out of one side of their face saying, oh, no. We need a bailout because the theaters are going to die.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, the theaters might need a bailout, but you guys could bail it out. You won't. But you're sitting back waiting for you to take the money.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what the whole thing's about.
Yeah.
And Disney now if we didn't notice it before, it's been an ongoing trend since April that they are focusing on streaming and on retail for their hires. That's just the way it is. This is from an analyst. They focus on job openings and where the trends are going. That's just how they're gonna do that. And meanwhile, they're charging more money. We already saw it. WDW News. They don't have to pull it up. They had an article that the masks, which were $6, they're now like $10.
$10 for face masks because they know people need them.
They're not that good of masks.
No.
We had one. They're kind of shit.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be honest. Universal's masks I thought were better. Disney's, the tag was in my mouth the whole time. I was like...
They weren't that great, honestly. My homemade ones were much better.
Smelled like sweatshop, too.
They smelled really weird. They did.
They smelled like sweatshop.
They smelled... I don't know what sweatshop smells like, but it smelled...
Like those masks.
Yeah.
Buy one, put it on, and you tell me that is the smell of a sweatshop.
I don't know, but I'm just, this is what Disney's going to do. We are hemorrhaging money. We have to make up this huge deficit and pay this stuff back. So they're going to, I bet you money, like we were joking, Disney Plus is going to start coming out with, you can watch the movies, but you have to pay for, some kind of premium. You can watch things all at once, but you have to pay a premium.
Yep.
I'm waiting for them to raise the prices on that. Where they're going to, milk, everything they have for like Star Wars and Marvel. It was already brand fatigue before, but they're going to milk it more. And then they're going to, try to put as much merchandise out as possible for ridiculous prices. This is what they do. I don't think anybody should be surprised by this.
No, and I'm just waiting for the crash after Christmas.
I'm just waiting for a crash in general because you can't sustain this. Everything comes to an end. Everything crashes at some point, as we saw with the theme parks, because they've been using that as a piggy bank for years.
Yep.
So it's too much of a hemorrhage. You're trying to stop a gaping hemorrhage with a little tiny Band-Aid.
Fatal stab wound with a...
Right, with a little Band-Aid.
Well, it's better than gaping hemorrhoids.
I didn't say gaping hemorrhoids.
Could you...
That happens, actually. And if you have that, you need to see a doctor right
Band-Aid?
away. Not with a Band-Aid, but you can get hemorrhoids that bleed a lot and have gaping hemorrhoid. Anyway.
That's what Disney's financial state is right now, a gaping hemorrhoid. They can't be stopped.
Oh, no. You're not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes, please
Okay,
do.
So let's ask you guys to subscribe. Forgot to ask you at the beginning. Please do. We're almost 150,000 subs, hoping for 200,000 soon.
Woo!
Thank you for the support. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.